Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and today's video I'm going to show you how to put together January Stamp Club card packet. So let me explain. In the month of January and February, we pick a bundle and we use them for 2 months. So for the month of, like I said, January and February, we're using the Sweet Conversations bundle. So we'll use this stamp set and this set of dies. I've mailed out the packets. Now, if you aren't a club member and you're interested in a packet, all you have to do is place a $30 order using our January Stamp Club host code, and I will send you all the supplies to make the 2 cards, which looks like this. It's a cute little shaker card, and this little card, which I have cased from Dina, and I'm sorry, Deanne, I don't know if I got the, I can't get her last name, but she is the Creative Cave. That's what her blog is, or her YouTube name is. But anyway, so thanks. This is I cased from her. I loved it and thought we should make it at club. But anyway, we're going to make these 2 cards stay with our packets. And then the 3rd card that I always make for you looks like that. Okay, and if you have any questions regarding club, be sure and reach out. I'd love to answer all the questions that I can. Okay, we're going to start with Dina's card here. So if you watched my supply video, I gave you a little bit of homework you could do before club. So your packet's going to look a little bit different than mine. I've done some die cutting and I've cut out these little hearts. I have one left to do. So you have a bunch of strips in your packet that look like this in different colors. I only have the one. Let me cut that last one. Get out my little machine here. And we're going to take and put that strip there. And we're going to use this 6 heart die strip out of the die set and cut those. So like I said, you have seven, I have to count them, different colors in your packet. We're only going to use 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're only going to use 5 on our card. But for the next card, the little shaker card, I thought we needed a little bit more color. And so I added a couple more colors of strips that we'll need the hearts of. So let's go ahead and poke these out and put them in my little dish here to save those little hearts. Get that strip of heart out here. There we go. I don't think Dina will ever watch my video, but Dina, if you happen to watch, everybody at my club loved your card, so thank you for sharing on Pinterest or YouTube or whichever I saw it on. Okay, so in your packet now we have left over the gray granite card base. We'll set that aside. We're going to stamp and glue these 2 here. These are 2 basic white. They're 5 1/4 by 4. And you can always get the measurements on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. But one of these we're going to glue all these little strips to. And I'm going to use the exact same color pattern that I used on my sample card. So I'm going to start with red. And I'm just laying these out here. In fact, stop, because I want to make sure I stamp on my pierce mat. So I want to lay that underneath here. So I'm going to lay that on here, because now I'm just laying out my little card pieces so I figure out where I want to stamp my little Happy Thanksgiving at the bottom. So next I'm going to lay down the gray, and then the pool party, and then last I'm going to lay down the Highland Heather. So then the basic white and the Granny Apple Green, we're not going to use those on cards. You can save them for another card or whatever. Okay, so I have them about where I think they should go. I think my cardstock is straight so I don't stamp crooked. I'm going to bring in some black Memento ink. I've got that Happy Valentine's Day from the stamp set on a block. I'm going to ink that up in black Memento ink. I have to practice one time. Make sure that it's going to stamp look okay. Yep, okay. Now, let me ink that up again. Whoop. Now I moved all my little card pieces, but I have my purple still where I want it, or my Highland Heather where I want it. So I'm going to just come down here. I might get my head in the camera, but I'm going to try to get it straight and just stamp that little Happy Valentine's Day. And now I'm stamping it first, because then if it's not straight or I'm not happy with it, I would just turn my cardstock over and do it again. But I think I did fine. I'm happy, so I'm going to put my ink away. And now it's time to glue those little pieces onto my card base. So I'm going to take all of this away and bring in my silicone mat. I'm going to just put some liquid glue up here in the corner. A little bit goes a long way with the liquid glue. And then I have a dauber. I call my sticky dauber. He's always sticky because I use him. And I'm going to start with the bottom color here, which is the Highland Heather. But I'm going to smear that glue around with my dauber and then just daub that glue all over my little heart row here, or whatever you call it. And then I'm going to take this and then just lay it right there, trying to get it straight on my card. Now you notice I have a little bit hanging off on that one. That's how I want it. So let's come along with the next one. Now this one is going to hang off a little more. So I'm going to take that part that's going to off. That's what I'm going to hold on to. And then I'm going to hit glue on the rest of it here. Lots of glue on there. And then I'm going to lay this just above that, a little bit shorter than that one. And I see I have a little bit of glue on my paper, which is good. I'll show you how we can take care of that later. Let's do the same thing with the gray. This side here, let me get out of that glue from before, is going to hang off the paper just a touch. So I'm going to hang on to it here, and I'm going to just daub that glue on there. Okay, and then lay that one. I want this one just to be a little bit longer. Lay him there. Ooh, I think it's turning out, it's looking really good. Okay, hang on, I have something on my card. There we go. Get that off. Okay, now we're ready for the petal pink. And the same thing, I'm gonna lay that one this way, so I'm gonna hold on to this edge over here and put lots of glue here. Okay, and then lay him down just a little bit shorter. I think I want him even shorter than the pool party. I'm going to lay him way over here and almost cut off a whole heart there. Okay, and then a little bit last, this is my real red. I want all of my real red hearts on there, so I'm going to glue all of them up. Make sure I get a little bit of glue over here on this side. There we go. Okay, I think that's enough glue. I'm gonna, like I said, line this one up. Whoop. So he's just at the edge over here. Barely, there we go. And I think that looks pretty good. I think it's pretty straight. Now to clean this, I would take my lint roller, let it completely dry, and then take my lint roller or some masking tape or something of that and get that and clean that up with that. I'll do that later. Okay, let's turn him over. Got my paper snips here. I'm going to turn him over and cut those hearts off so it's flush with this side. Has no hangy overs anymore. And he looks like that. Look how cute that is. Okay. So now we're going to take this and we're going to just put some tape runner on the back and put that right here on the front of our card base. Try to get it straight so it looks just like that. Now those little pieces of glue that I have, they're really easy to remove because we daubed them on. So I'm going to just take my glue eraser and tab off or wipe off just those little pieces of glue that got where I didn't want them. Okay, so far so good. Now we're going to add one little heart to each of those hearts there. I'm going to use mini dimensionals. There's two ways you can do this. You can take your dimensional and just set it right there in the heart that you want. And then you pick this up and you lay it right there on top and try to get it straight. I struggle that way to get it straight. My way is I like to lay the heart here and put the dimensional right there on the heart, and then pick that heart up and then flip my card around until my heart's the right way. My heart's the right way, does that make sense? And lay that down just like that. I think I get mine placed a little simpler that way. So let's keep going. I'm going to keep doing one heart in each little row. This one I think I'm going to put over here. Well, there we go. Get him straight. A couple more, we're almost done. And then last we do that little purple one or Highland Heather. And then we'll lay that right here on that bottom row. And look how, well, he's almost straight. Let me scoot him over carefully, remove him, put him back down where I want him. There. Looks pretty good right there. Not too shabby. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp the inside now on that other piece of basic white. I'm gonna just take my real red ink pad here. See what I mean by sticky dauber? He sticks to everything. Okay, got him put away. And then on here, I'm gonna just take those 3 little rows of hearts, ink that up, stamp it down here toward the top. Look how cute that is. And some basic black, or that Memento black ink. There we go. And the little words that says, happy to have you in my life. I'm gonna ink those right there underneath those hearts. Let that ink sink in a little bit. Nice. Okay, and then we're gonna just take that with our tape runner and put that on the inside of our card. And now on my supply list, I forgot to add it, but I think if you take your Wink of Stella, everybody loves Wink of Stella, and add just a little bit to the front of those hearts, it adds that nice finishing touch. There we go. So if you have Wink of Stella, be sure and put it on there. If you don't have Wink of Stella, the card still looks good without it. Like I said, it's just that last little finishing touch of Wink of Stella on those little hearts. And there you go. So there's card number 1. Thanks again, Deanna. The Creative Cave loved your card. I hope you guys like it too. Let's go to our second card. It's a little shaker card, looks like this. Here's my kit, and I'll put my ribbon here. Okay, we're gonna start by stamping first. We'll set other pieces apart. So we're gonna stamp on this white strip right here. This piece here is just a scrap. And then we have our thick white card base here. We're gonna stamp on all 3 of those white places. Okay. And I know my packet is missing a part, but trust me, yours won't. Let me grab a little scrap of red here. That'll work. Okay, and you'll have a little square of real red that mine was missing, and I'm not sure why, but trust me, yours won't. So like I said, we're gonna stamp on here first. Let me bring in my Pierce mat again and my scrap of paper. We're gonna start with these little X's and O's right here on the card. So I'm gonna open up my real red ink pad and my Highland Heather, and I'm gonna start on this white strip in the center. And I'm gonna start, doesn't matter which one you start with, but I'm gonna start with my O, and just stamp it as close to the center as I can get. And then I'm going to stamp an X on each side like that, and then the O again on each side, and then repeat with the purple until we have the whole piece of paper covered with those X's and O's. So you could say we're kind of making our own designer series paper. I don't know, I just think I like the X's and O's in a strip like that. And then this piece will layer onto the real red, but let's let that dry just a second and bring in the card base. Now on the inside of this one, let me move this down here. I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to start with that O just to bring in the outside into the inside and give it some fun colors. Real quick, stamp that X on both sides, come back in with the red here, and now that X again till it's all the way across. Let's see if I can, oh, I can fit the whole O in there almost, and then one off the edge here so it looks like that. Let's put the ink, oh, not that one away, we can put the red away, and I'm going to bring in some of that black memento again, and I want to just stamp happy birthday right here on the inside of my card. I am going to practice one time. Yeah, looks pretty good. Put that down right there. Did I get my head in the camera? So there's the inside of our card right there. I was almost off camera. Set that aside and bring in this scrap now here. We don't need this piece, and I think it's easier to see. So I'm going to bring in, now in your stamp set, you have several hearts. You have the two larger hearts, the URQ and the Text Me are larger. You have this one, Love You, is a little bit smaller, and then these I'll call plump. So I think the two plump hearts would work best on this project, so I'm going to use the BFF here. I'm going to ink it up in that black memento ink and stamp down there. And then the solid image that matches, I'm going to ink that up in that Highland Heather and stamp that down just to give our heart some color. Okay, and all done with our inks. Okay. Set these all aside, make some room. I'm going to bring in the well, let me show you first too, just to remind you what we have here in the die set that we're going to use. So I'm going to take the biggest heart here. I need to cut that out in red. And then that plump heart here, we're going to cut out our little heart. And then we need, sorry, you're out of the camera. We need this little tag right here to cut that one too. Let's bring in our little die cut machine again. Set those up. I think we can cut them both out at the same time. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We can lay them on here. Put our little tag on there, and then last line up this little heart to cut out what we've stamped. Looks pretty good. Lay that down, see if it's moved. Nope, and then we just run that through. Okay, fine. Hang on, I gotta... If you ever have that problem with your mini die cut machine, it's because your plates are lined up here. We need to stagger our plates this way, and then we won't have that problem. Let me put this back on there where I want it. Stagger our plates a little bit. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. And now watch, we won't have any trouble. Now I lied. Running that through the machine. There we go. He's just a little temperamental sometimes. The baby always wants the attention. Okay, let's take these pieces off here. Okay, and if you notice, I did not do good cutting out my heart, so I'm going to just turn it over and I'm going to stamp on it again. I should have used some washi tape to cut that out, but I'm going to just stamp here like this. And then bring in that purple. I might have to redo them all together, but let's see if I can make this one work. Yeah, we'll see when we get done. I might redo him. My scrap's big enough. Lord knows I have enough room that I could do him again if I want to. Put all of our die pieces away. Okay, bring in those pieces there. Now this piece, and you know, I think he's fine. I'm going to take this piece here and just put some tape on the back of the red heart and lay that right there on the front of my tag, and then put a dimensional on the back of what I called my little plump heart and set that right there. Oh yeah, that's cute. That'll work. Okay, now it's time to assemble our card. We have all of our little pieces and parts. So I'm going to take, oh no, we need to put these two together. So let me layer these, put my white onto my red here. And they have just an itty bitty border, and they're the exact same length. On the back of that one, I'm going to put some dimensionals. And then layer this one to our designer series paper. The little dimensionals is what's going to give our shaker pieces some room to move. I'm going to lay this in the center here. Try to get it straight. How did I do? Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to dump all my little hearts that we die cut right here on that designer series paper, because I want to make sure they're all right side up. I don't want to see the back of any hearts. Now our shaker card will shake, but those little hearts will not flip. So if I can get all the right sides up, it's going to look better in the long run. So you have to just be patient with me while I turn all these little pieces. And here's one here. Nope. Let's see, did I get them all now? Nope. And all these little things, I don't know if I mentioned it before or not, are just colors that are in the designer series paper. So they just bring out the colors that are in the background. All right, what do you think? Do you think I got them all? Nope, this guy right here needs to be flipped up. So does this one. This one needs to go, and this one needs to go. Okay, now I think I have them. Oh, I found a red one here. Okay, there, I thought I had two. Okay, so let's take those and carefully, now that we have them all the right way, and slip it into our envelope. Now I'm going to make sure the flat part is up here. This is the pocket underneath, and slide my card in there, or the designer series paper in there. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to bring in that little pack of sequins that's in your kit. Now these I just picked up at the craft store, but I thought they matched really nice. And I think there's too many sequins in that little packet, so I wouldn't put them all in there. And then fold that in half, kind of shake or cover those so it doesn't come out. See how you feel. I think that looks like that's enough. So I'm going to turn this over, and on the back I'm going to peel that backing off the adhesive, and I'm going to lay this snug with my designer series paper. So I fold it over as much as I can. So now it's tight right here. And you have a shaker that looks like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's go ahead and finish it up. I'm gonna bring in some tear-in tape, and now that top that has a little bit of extra envelope here, I'm gonna fold that down and use my tear and tape here to hold that flap down. Like that. All the way to the bottom, all the way on the side there. And now it holds that. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Make sure that flap is down and hold it down with the tear and tape. Excuse me. And then I'm going to do it in the center here too. This one I'm not going to quite go all the way to the bottom, because then I am going to put a piece of tear and tape down here at the bottom just to make sure that my card, or the card front that I'm going to coast to my base, is secure. And then 2 little pieces here, I'm going to make sure those hold those flaps down. That's probably overkill, but I feel comfortable having all those pieces on there. So there's our tear and tape. You can see. Let's take off all those backings. There we go. Bring in our card base, and then make sure our card base is the right way, and lay this right there on the front. Just like that. And look how cute our card base is with those shaker pieces in there. Nice, huh? Okay, so then our little tag here, I'm going to just take some tape runner and put on the back. And then place that along that strip that's inside the envelope and just lay it just like this. And there you go. Now, as promised in the supply video where I showed you all the supplies you need, I said I would show you how to tie a bow with the bow maker and with the fork. I'm going to do the fork easier. I think it's easier to see on the fork, and it applies the same kind of technique applies to the bow maker. So with the fork, you're going to lay your ribbon here on the front. The back side's going to come up and over this front piece like this, and then through the center. There you go. And then it's going to come up the back and through the center of the fork again. And then these 2 pieces here, you're going to just tie a simple knot. Now this right here is the back of your bow, and this here is the front. Now, if you tie a bow, and the first couple times might take some practice and you're not happy, all you'd have to do is take that simple knot in the back and untie it. And then you have your bow untied again, because you can't just tie it by pulling the strings. Let's do it one more time. So you lay your ribbon on the front, making sure that this side's a little bit longer than this side. You wrap it around the back. You go over the ribbon on the side and then through that center piece there. Whoop, I got stuck to my finger. Through the center here, and then up the back and through the front, and then you just take those 2 and tie a simple knot. Now remember, I got it really crooked on that one. I'd have to retie that one too. But there's the front of your bow, and this would be the back. So let me show you on the bow maker. Let me bring in another piece of ribbon. That one's tied. I'm not going to take the time to untie it. So with the ribbon bow maker, you could leave your ribbon on the spool. You take it here, you wrap it. This would be the front. This would be the back, right? I call these the goalposts. Don't ask me why. Well, because they look like goalposts. But anyway, so we're going to take the ribbon in the back here, wrap it. It goes over the front, the piece here, so it looks like this, over the front, and then through those goalposts and bring it to the back. Looks like that, right? Then you pull these both to the center. You bring the back piece over and around, and then you tie that simple knot here in the front. Well, or you let go. Tie that simple knot in the front here, what I'm looking at, which would be the back of your bow. There we go. And you'd pull that tight, and then this would be the front of your bow. Look how cute that is. So let me tell you a little bit about my bow makers. My bow makers, if you place an $80 or I'm sorry, $75 order during celebration, which is January and February, I'll send you a bow maker that I had my friend make for me. He made a bunch for my team, and I have a few left over that I would love to give to my customers. So again, a $75 order before shipping and tax, and I'll send you the bow maker while supplies last. If I sell out before celebration is over, then of course I can't send any more. But then we're going to take a little glue dot here, and I'm going to just place the glue dot right here, and then just take our little bow and put that right there in the center. So there's our cards for this month's club. Here's the 2 shaker cards, the 2 clubs complimentary of the Creative Cave. Thanks again, Dina, for sharing. And then, of course, the card that I make for you. We do meet every month. Like I said, we're going to use this Sweet Conversation bundles again in February. The commitment to club, if you want to join and share the hostess benefits, it's a $30 order. If you have any questions, be sure and reach out. If you need the measurements for my cards, you can go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.